Assalamu alaikum everyone and good morning dear students. Today in a new important lesson that concerns always academic writing. This time we'll try to cover a very important, if you can say, practice in academic writing with which we reinforce our arguments, right, and back up our opinions when we write. It is quoting. So, why do we use quoting? What is quoting? And how do we quote in academic writing? All these will be explained in details, inshallah, in this lesson. Good. Now, as you know, in academic writing, we use multiple techniques to back up our ideas, our views, all right, in our research mainly. So, for example, we can use quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Today we start with the easiest one, the commonest one, and the wideliest used one, which is quoting. What is quoting? Quoting, in fact, is a kind of copying or restating someone else's exact words and sentences, right, as they are in our own piece of writing. Clear? Whether it is oral or written, so we copy it, we use it as it is, without any change, without touching any word or any letter or any mark in this quotation. Clear? Good. Now, why do we use quoting in our writing? First, to support our ideas, back up our arguments, strengthen our stance in our research. Clear? There must be a kind of testimony, evidence that what we are trying to prove, what we are tackling in our research, is of course based on something factual, based on evidence, right, from other people's experiences, other people's, knowledge, and other people's, for example, researches. That's why we quote from different sources, and we include this direct quotation in our work, in our research, to, of course, we said, back up our stance and our opinion. Also, one of the main aims from quoting and using mainly punctuation marks, which are quotation marks, because it's named after the mark, quotation marks, is to distinguish our speech from someone else's. It means when someone reads my research or my paper, he will understand that this quotation, which is written between quotation marks, is not my work, is not my speech, is not my words, but it is someone else's. I borrowed, clear, and I relied on just to reinforce my stance in my research. Clear? Good. So here, when you take someone else's property, when you borrow somebody else's property, you have to be here, what? Honest. You have to be characterized by integrity, honesty, and probity. That's why you mustn't change anything in the quotation you take from any resource or any source. Clear? So, the quotation, of course, direct one, it mustn't be altered. Of course, as a matter of scientific integrity. Clear? Good. That's why it must be identical to the original source. It means when a researcher wants to check your quotation, he must find that your quotation and what you assume to take from as a resource, the original source, they should be identical. No change. Right, no change. Neither in words, nor in capitalization, nor in mechanics, nor in punctuation. They have to be identical in your code as well as in the source you have taken it from. Clear? Good. Now, generally, when we want to write quotation in academic writing, you know, we usually start with a reporting verb. Clear? And then we introduce our quotation, direct quote. Good. So, for example, you can start with he says, all right, or he said, whether past or present, but usually in researches we use reporting verbs in the present simple tense. Clear? Because we are analyzing, we are discussing, we are studying, we are not narrating something in the past. Clear? Right. So we say he says, he assumes, he contends, he states. Right. He explains, he adds. Right. So all these can be reporting verbs to introduce a direct quote. Direct quote. So reporting verb should be in the present. Number one. Whether he or, for example, you mention the name of the original author, Harold Bloom or Ashcroft or what you want. Now, he says, then you put either comma or colon. Clear? Or colon. Are free, it's optional in English. Academic writing, comma or colon, but comma is communist. Clear? Then you open your double quotation marks. Then you write your direct quote. Direct quote, of course, this quote is, if it's going to be a complete sentence, it must start with capital letter. The first word in a quotation should be capitalized. Right. Except if, alright, it is only a part of a sentence. Here, we don't capitalize. Clear? So, I repeat, you open double quotation marks, you capitalize the first word, you write your sentence, clear, and you put your end mark inside, whether it's a full stop, or question mark, or exclamation point. Inside, then you close your quotation marks. Clear? And like this, you have quoted something from others' speech or writing or source correctly and academically. Generally, of course. So I'm speaking now generally. Clear? So, here we have, as we said before, reporting verb in the present simple tense. Just a remark about the use of that. He says that. He assumes that. Normally, that should be avoided when you want to quote directly. Clear? Because that is normally meant to report what others say. It is in indirect speech. Clear? It's not wrong, but you had better, directly write reporting verb. He says, he contends, he states, then the comma or colon, and directly you write your direct quote. Clear? Good. This in case the reporting verb comes before direct quote. Clear? Now, in case the reporting verb comes after direct quote. Example I have, they will come. Ali said, or said Ali. So here, of course, as usual, I open my quotation marks, as you see here. Clear? I capitalize the first word, write my whole sentence, then before I close double quotations, I put a comma, only comma, not comma, then I close quotation marks, then I write my reporting verb. Clear? So this in case, reporting verb is after the direct quote, or what we call reported clause. Third case, if the reporting verb is in the middle, it interrupts the quotation. Clear? Example, I said, they will come. He says, but not allowed. For instance, so here, I will, as usual, open double quotation marks, and I capitalize my first word and write they will come. So I put comma then I close my quotation with double quotation marks. Because why here? Comma before I close. It's the case of reporting verb. He says comes after the first part of the quotation. So when it is after what? When it's after we put comma and we close. Then he says comma, then I open another quotation marks, and I add but not alone. Second part of my quotation, alright, full stop, and I close my quotation marks. Clear? And here is my direct quotation with a reporting verb in the middle. As you see here, they is capitalized, but the but, conjunction but, is not capitalized. Why? Because but here is only a part of a sentence, not the beginning of a sentence. Clear? Go. Also, for example, in case you want, sometimes we find the end marks, especially question mark and exclamation point outside. This is when. This happens when. It happens when the question, whether auxiliary verb or WH word, comes before we open our quotation marks. For example, I say, did he say they will come? So, did he say, did he say, comma, open, they will come, question mark outside. Why outside? Because did itself, the question word, is outside quotation marks. But if the did is inside, question mark is inside. Example also, when have they said we are not coming? When have they said? Here, so sentence which starts before the quotation. So here also the question mark should be outside because WH word of the question is outside before we opened our quotation marks. Clear? Go. Also, one remark for at the end of direct quotation, you must never put two and marks together. You should never put two and marks together. It's either full stop or question mark or exclamation point, but never question mark and full stop, or full stop and exclamation point, or comma and full stop. No. Always one mark at the end. Clear? So be careful here. Right. Except rarely when we use question mark and exclamation point together here. You know the case when we have a question and at the same time a kind of wondering or exclamation. But this one is very rare. So the basic rule is to stick to one end mark at the end of every quotation, not two. So be careful about this. Clear? Good. Now, speaking about research, academic research, here we have special norms and rules to follow when quoting in academic research or in a paper of research. Now, for example, you know that in every quote, I must cite my source. It means I must inform the reader where I took this quotation from. Clear? Let's start with an example. Example, I write, Harold Bloom says, as usual, comma, then I open quotation marks, I write my direct quotation, clear? Then I close my quotation marks and I write number of the page here. Clear? Number of the page. Then I put full stop and mark only after the page number. Is, of course, when you cite according to the MLA style. It means what? For example, Harold Bloom says, comma, quotation marks, capitalize it. Research is methodology. So I close it, right, and marks, I open, write all number of the page, 33, clear. Then I close parentheses and full stop at the end in MLA. Now, in case, for example, you want to postpone the name of the writer to be after the quotation. For example, I write something. It is defined as, comma, or a colon if you want, clear. Open question marks. You write your next quotation, definition. Then you close the quotation. Then you open parentheses. You write the family name of the writer, clear. Family name, for example, Bloom. Then the page. Then you close parentheses. Then you put the unmarked full stop at the end, after. Clear. So as you see here, in researches, we usually put the full stop and the mark usually at the end, after all the quotation and all the citation of the whole quotation. Clear? Right. Even in APA, the same thing also. Example, I write Hard Bloom. Don't know. Says, clear, says, then I put comma, right, I open quotation marks, I write my codes, I close my quotations, right, then I include, in API normally, the date publication, clear, and the page number as shown here, and in case I want to postpone the author's name to be after quotation, the same thing. For example, I write it's defined as quotation, colon or comma. Then I open question marks, write my quotation, close it. Then I write between parentheses what family name, Bloom. Then comma year publication. Then comma page number, close parentheses, and put my full stop. Clear. Put my full stop. So in MLA in the same almost way, except the way of citation, it differs a bit. Clear? Differs a bit. Now, in case you have a kind of also quotation which is long, block quotation. What's the block quotation? A block quotation is a quotation which contains more than 40 words. It means almost 4 lines. If your quotation is almost 4 lines, clear, here you should separate it from the paragraph and indent it almost twice as usual, clear, and you write it in the form of a block without using quotation marks, as you see here. The block quotation should be separated a little bit from the whole paragraph. Clear. Unlike the common short quotations, which are less than 4 lines, they are within, the paragraph, as usual, as normally, right, within the right of the paragraph. But the block quotation, it should be separated and almost double spaced or double indented than the other paragraphs, and written in block form without using any quotation marks, neither before nor after. And at the end, of course, I cite it by writing, example, if it's MLA, of course, author's family name and number. If it's API, family name of the author, date publication, and also I write page number, clear, and close, and full stop always at the end, clear, at the end. Right, go. Now sometimes when we quote, we have the case of using single inverted commas. This is when we have a quotation inside another quotation. Direct quotation inside another direct quotation. Right. For example, he says, she shouted, right, help me, right, or help me, or help, let's say, help me. Right. He says, comma, open, double quotation marks. She, capitalized she, shouted. Then another comma, because shout is a secondary positive verb. Clear. Then I have this, help me. It's second quotation inside the first one. Baby inside the mother quotation. That's it. Clear. So I open only single verse comma or single quotations. I write help me, capitalize H also here. Clear. And me, right? Then I put the end mark. Normally, it's, for example, here, exclamation point. Inside, I close the single inverted comma, then I close double quotation marks. Clear? Right. In case you have a source, you want to cite, I mean, in academic research, as usual, you postpone everything, page number for the author, of the name of the author, and mark is after. Clear? Good. Also, sometimes we may use brackets or square brackets inside quotation. But when? This is in case you want to add within the quotation. Now we said we have to keep it as it is. We don't touch it at all. Clear? But sometimes you may need to add maybe a supplementary remark, a kind of correction, a mistake you find in the quotation. So here, in case you want to add something or to explain something, to refer to something, you put it inside the quotation between brackets. For example, I write, he says, Mr. Anderson, brackets, inside them, the mayor, gave a speech. So here, the word mayor is not apart from the quotation, but it is what? Said, written by someone else, other than the writer of the original quotation. Clear? Or sometimes you have a mistake, for example, in the quotation. You are not allowed, as a matter of scientific integrity or honesty, to touch it. But you refer, if you want to correct it as we said before, you write, correct, for example, correct it, for example, you add a letter to a missing word between always brackets, or sometimes you can write just directly after the mistake, sick. This symbol, sick. It means as it was written. And I am honest, I haven't touched anything in this declaration. Clear? Right. Now, in case we have a long quotation, sometimes it's very long and endless. So here we can end it with the ellipses, 3 points at the end to show that it is still longer, right, and infinite. Clear? Good. Now, also, when it comes to titles, we can use double quotation marks. But which titles? Titles of articles, in my research, if you want to mention them in your research, of articles, of poems, of chapters, and of essays. Clear? These, alright, should be always put between double quotation marks. But for titles of books, movies, magazines, and long works, these should be italicized. Always. Titles of books, of novels, clear, of magazines, right. These should be italicized. It means write in a bent way. And the old way it was to underline them in the past. But nowadays the current use is to italicize them. Clear? Good. Or any other longer work too. Now, how much am I allowed to use quotations in my research? What rate should I respect or take into account when quoting in my research paper. It is recommended that any researcher should not exceed 10% of quotations in his research. It means don't overquoting and accumulate a lot of quotations and apply a kind of, you can say, collage. You combine your research from taking quotes from here, quotes from there, quotes from over there, and you combine them together and you recite them. It's not correct. You have to respect this rate. Don't exceed 10%. Example, approximately we can say in every page there can be a quotation, 1 or 2, sometimes in a page no quotation, other times on a page 3 quotes, but it mustn't appear that my research is based on what? Sticking a group of quotations together. My own touch as a researcher, as a writer, should be felt clear, and these quotations are only a kind of argument, backup, clear, kind of, assistance, help. I used to reinforce my view, clear, not to include it as a material in itself. Clear? So, 10% is enough. Right. Good. Sometimes also, if we want to quote from an indirect source, I find a quotation in a book, and I don't have that original book. So here in MLA you can write what? Quoted in, as you see, quoted in, quoted, right, full stop, in, then you write from the name of this source's author, clear, then the page, and you close, clear. But this should be done only rarely, not all the time, not often. Clear, but always go back to the main source. Clear. And the APA are the same, also an APA, right? You should write at the end, of course, after the quotation, of course, you close the quotation marks, right? Between parentheses, as cited in, then from the name, comma, year publication, comma, page number, close parentheses, and mark will stop at the end. Clear. So this is generally how to quote in academic writing, and how we should always respect this set of rules and norms when we use the technique of quoting in our academic research. Clear, academic research mustn't exaggerate, but at the same time we should know how to use it and how to punctuate it and how to place it correctly in the course of my scientific material of my research. Thank you so much. I hope that you have benefited, and see you in another video, inshallah, about second technique, which is paraphrasing. See you.